We've seen the wedding, we've seen the processions through the streets of London, we've seen the appearance on the balcony, and we've seen the departure. And it's been a very full and a very enjoyable day. I hope you've all enjoyed it. I should just say one thing. We'll be back again at 9:30 on BBC1. For those of you who've not been able to see it, or you may be able to tell people who haven't been able to see it, that after the news on BBC1 at 9:30, we'll be back with a 1-hour resume of the highlights of the wedding, so it'll be a chance to see some of those marvellous moments again, some of the music, some of the dresses, and that very, very happy couple, the new Duke and Duchess of York. Until then, good afternoon.
And a reminder, highlights tonight at 9:30 on this royal wedding day, a day to remember. And permanent souvenirs of this great occasion will be available as from tomorrow, all on BBC Record, and at £9.99 the video.
Good afternoon. The headlines now from Points West. A Bristol man is one of 3 who've been found guilty at the Old Bailey of conspiracy to handle gold bullion from Britain's biggest robbery. Garth Chappell was found guilty by majority verdict along with Kenneth Noy and Brian Reeder. The 3, along with another man, Matteo Constantino, were also found guilty of evading VAT on the gold, which came from the raid on the Brinksmat warehouse near Heathrow Airport in November 1983. 2 other men, including Terence Patch, also from Bristol, were cleared of both charges. 4 people are in hospital after a shooting incident and brawl in Bath. A man burst into a pub in Lansdowne brandishing a shotgun and fired several shots. A barman received serious shotgun wounds to the stomach. During the skirmish that followed, the landlord's ear was almost completely severed by a knife and his wife was stabbed in the back. The couple's daughter is being treated for a broken wrist and shock. A man from Thornbury is being questioned by police. 2 men have died in an accident on the Bristol to Clevedon Road. A Porsche car was found this morning near the Long Ashton Golf Club with 2 people inside. It's thought the car crashed into a tree sometime during the night. Plans to extract coal at Midsummer Norton have been criticised by the leader of Wansdyke Council. The National Coal Board will start test drilling soon at the Old Norton Hill colliery. But David Wilshire plans to block the scheme, which he feels would threaten the town centre with noise and dirt. A 3-day strike planned by machine operators at the Lister Petter factory in Dursley has been called off. However, the 36 computer and machine operators are still in dispute over pay. And unions are still discussing with management 90 redundancies announced last weekend. Cricketer Ian Botham began his comeback today, playing in a second 11 match for Somerset against Hampshire at Yeovil. Before opening the bowling, Botham said he was keen to get back into the first team and be selected for England's winter tour of Australia. Those are this afternoon's headlines. Points West is at the usual time, 6:35.
Oh, wow. What a day. Have you been watching? How exciting. We've got our streamers here. Look at this. What about, I tell you what, Sid, you have one of those. Can you chuck streamers? They're very good. Beautiful shots over the river. Absolutely fabulous. Say you want to be top, I think, yes? Say you want to be top? Of course. It's Gary Wilmot and all sorts of craziness with, of course, the creeps and the crawlers.
So, you want to be T-O-P, you gotta make it B-I-G. You can't be an F-L-O-P, so you want to be top. So you want to be top. So you want to be top. Hiya, top kids! Hey! Well, sadly, this is the last show. But we're not going to be miserable, are we? Now, the reason I went on that little trip just now is because I'm going to talk all about trips on the school coach. Anyone come here tonight by coach? Yeah! Good! Because I remember my school coach. I can picture it now, leaning up against the bike shed. Whenever we used to go on a trip on that coach, my mum always used to give me fish paste sandwiches. In fact, I ate so many fish paste sandwiches, I started breathing through my cheeks. But that old school coach. It was always breaking down, you know. I mean, it said 40,000 miles on the clock, but I'm sure we pushed it further than that. It did 0 to 50 in April. I remember one day we pushed it all the way to the National History Museum for our day out. And I walked through the doors of this great big building, and there it was, this huge skeleton of A dinosaur. A really old one, not a new one. And I went up to the man and offered him a fish paste sandwich. And I said, how old is it? He said, what, a fish paste sandwich? I said, no, the skeleton. He said, oh, that, he said, well, let me say it now. That is 6 million years and 3 months old. I said, that is incredible. How can you be so accurate? He said, well, it was 6 million years old when I came here, and I've been here 3 months. Well, enough of this historical history. Now let's meet a magnificent monitor, Miss Lenny Harper.
Brill, we're going to have a really merry time, even although it is cheerio chair. Ooh, ta-ta topometer. Because today is the last chance our top kids in the audience will have to register how pleased they are on the topometer with their clapping. So without any further doings, let me introduce our top form teams. The multi-talented Michelle. Our creep captain is once again accompanied by Jolly John.
Hello, top kids.
Hello. Smile, John. Well, John's just dropped off for a moment or two, but let's meet the crawlers, because they're crawling out of the woodwork for the last time. It's Elizabeth again. Hi. With our crawler captain, Robert.
Hello, everybody. Well, seeing as it's the last programme, I'd just like to say a few words on...
Right, creeps and crawlers, let's see who can think of the funniest, wittiest end line for this limerick. Here it is for you top kids. Here it is. And it reads like this. There were some school pupils from Crewe, who were told school food's smarter than you, but to their surprise, right in front of their eyes, a cabbage sat O-levels 2. Yeah, boom, boom. You've seen the crawlers O-levels. What about the creeps?
Sausage said...
3 2s is 2.
Yes. Well, we'll mark the crawlers O-levels first. Mark 'em, top kids!
Well, the crawlers O-level didn't get quite up to A-level. They got a quite good, so that's 6 marks.
And indeed, what about the creeps speaking sausages? Mark 'em, top kids!
Well, the speaking sausage has sizzled all the way up to the top there. It's Brill, 10 marks.
What have you got there, Jennings?
Nothing, sir.
I've told you before about bringing your hamsters and mice and so on into school. Now, what member of the menagerie do we have here today? Oh, nothing. I must be going mental.
Shh, look, it's my new pet, the dormer desk. Come on. They're specially bred to live on desks. They eat exercise books and they drink ink. It makes this little nest in pencil shavings. And they come specially bred to go to the lavatory in the right places. So if you want a bit of classroom company, get a dormer desk.
Dormer desk from Top Kid.
Well, once again, it's time for... Cheers the chestnut! It's...